Hello, welcome to this new episode. It's a new week, a new topic, and a new podcast. So, thank you for being here with me. For those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Sandra Ray. I'm an author, healer, and spiritual teacher. And I'm delighted you're here joining me today because the topic that we're talking about is one of great importance. Of course, all the topics are really important and things that we can master in our lives. And this one just adds so much to all the others that we've learned so far. But this one is about the key to unlocking your life. Now, there's a caveat because there isn't just one key to unlocking your life. We're going to talk about one today, but really, there's so many other things, and this one is one that I think is really important. It's one of the main things to unlocking your life, and it's one that is greatly overlooked. So that's why I want to broach it today. But there are other factors. Now, if you do nothing else and you only do this one thing that we're going to talk about, then you're pretty good. You're going to be living a pretty good, happy, joyful life if you can master this one topic. So let's get into it. What is the key to unlocking your life? So, as I said, it's quite simple. It's been often overlooked, and it's one that I think we're all guilty of because we all practice this to some degree or another. So the key is to love yourself unconditionally. So what does that mean? So you might think that you love yourself, or you might not love yourself at all. You might not like yourself very much. It depends where you are. For those of you who are on the side of not liking yourself very much and feeling really bad about yourself, this is going to be huge. If you kind of are happy with who you are and you kind of think, yeah, I'm good, I'm happy where I'm at, I kind of like myself, then this one is going to help you to take a quantum leap forward. Now, it's going to help everybody to take a quantum leap forward, but it's often when you're feeling kind of, oh yeah, my life's good, everything's fine, when you're in that space, that's kind of almost worse, because when you don't like yourself, you know that you don't like yourself, but when you kind of feel okay about yourself, there's these little insidious thoughts that creep past, these little things that come up that are almost in the background of your mind that you don't realize are there, and things that you're telling yourself and beliefs that you have about yourself that you're not even conscious of. So we'll talk about this more in a minute. But the key to loving yourself unconditionally, what happens is when we're born, of course, most of us are born into loving families. Not everybody, but most people are born into loving families. And for the most part, you're wanted. Now, of course, I know that that's not the case for everybody, but let's go with that for the minute. And let's say you're born into a loving family, you're wanted, and you're cherished. What happens as you grow up is that during the course of your childhood, you're learning, you're growing, you're told, don't do that, don't touch that, that's not good to do, that's bold or that's wrong. And you're told all these things. And then you go to school and you're told you have to learn this way and your way isn't good enough and you have to do better and you have to get better grades and you have to do this. And then you're told you have to go to college to get more education so that you can become something else, and you're not good enough as you are, you have to go on. And I'm not saying learning is bad. Learning is amazing. I'm all about learning. But I find like I devour books, but it's on topics that I want to learn about. And I think that that's the problem, is a lot of you go to college and they study topics that they're told you should be an accountant, or you should be an engineer, or you should be an archaeologist, or whatever it is, because that's a good job in inverted commas. And they've no interest in the topic. And there is nothing worse than studying a topic that you have no interest in. And as I said, I'm all about learning. I think that you should never stop learning, but please, please, please learn about what lights you up. Learn about and read about and study the topics that light you up, because yes, you can learn about those other things, and yes, you can broaden your mind and your perspective. But if it doesn't light you up, then, what's the point? And at the end of the day, we're all here to feel more happiness and to feel more joy and to lean into what brings us happiness and joy. But of course, that's an inside job, but that's another topic. I've talked about that before. So let's get back to today. We're talking about unconditionally loving yourself. So we're brought up being told all these things about how we're doing things wrong. We have to do it right. We have to do it differently. So we grow to learn that we're not complete. We're not perfect. We're not whole. We have to learn more, do more, be better, get better grades. And it's never ending. And then suddenly we find ourselves as adults and we're not living with our parents anymore. We're not going to school anymore. We're not, in college anymore. But still, we keep telling ourselves that we're not good enough, we're doing it wrong, we have to be better, do more, achieve more, get greater success, and then I get the success and then I'll be happy, or I'll get the house and then I'll be happy, or I get the car and then I'll be happy. And it's never ending. And the problem is that it's not those things that causes happiness. It's your unconditional love for yourself that will bring you the happiness that you're seeking. And at the end of the day, that's all we want. We want to feel loved. We want to feel loved by other people. We want to feel loved by friends and family. But we don't realize that we have to love ourselves first in order to allow the other people to give us that love. Because if we're not loving ourselves, if we inherently think that we are in some way flawed, then other people are going to pick up on that vibe. Other people are going to pick up on our beliefs about ourselves, and they're going to reflect that back to us. And that's when you go to work and you have a boss who's really hard on you and who's always giving you a hard time and who's always putting you down. And you're like, will my boss ever let up on me? And you don't realize that that's because that's the energy that you're putting out there. You don't believe you're good enough. So your boss on some subconscious level is picking up on that. So then they're thinking, well, she's not doing her job in a good enough way. She has to be better at it. And it goes round and round. It's this cycle. So you have to start with yourself. You can't change other people. You can't change your boss, your mother, your father, your husband, your in-laws, whatever it is, your friends. You have to start with yourself. And that starts with loving yourself. And it's as simple as beginning to talk nicely to yourself. When you look in the mirror, what do you say? Do you look at all the flaws, or do you look at the good parts and think, okay, I feel beautiful today? When you get up in the morning, do you tell yourself you love yourself? When you're doing your work, do you tell yourself that you're doing a good job? Or do you say, oh, I have so much to do, I feel so overwhelmed, I have to get through this, I'm never going to get all of this done? When you're out with friends, do you tell yourself, I have a great personality and everybody loves me? Or do you sit there thinking that you're not really good at conversation? Or do you think that you're boring, or whatever else comes up? I don't know. But just start observing the mind chatter and what you're telling yourself. And it's going to be really subtle, because sometimes you're telling it to yourself so much that you don't even notice that you're telling yourself these things. So it's going to be really subtle, but start to tune in and start to notice where in your life, in your thoughts, in your actions, in your words, that you are not loving yourself, so that you can start to turn that around and start loving yourself. And I'm going to give you a really simple thing. This is something that I was watching a video on YouTube with Marissa Peer, and she was talking about the affirmation of saying, I am enough. and how it can be so profound and how it can change people's lives just by telling yourself that one small thing. And I would add to that, you can say, I am enough, I am worthy, I am significant. All of those things are going to contribute towards you loving yourself unconditionally. If you think you are enough, if you think you are worthy, if you think you are significant, then there's really no reason to put yourself down. If you are enough just as you are, you don't have to be more, do more, achieve more. There's nothing more you need to do but just to be and to be happy and to experience what that feels like without the pressure of having to do all these things and achieve all these things and succeed at all these things. And I'm not saying that you can't succeed at things, but it's just taking the pressure off you and saying, look, I am enough right now as I am. And if I go on to achieve something else or have more success or do something else, then that's wonderful. And I'll be even happier. But for now, I am enough just as I am. And I am completely happy in the space that I am in. So go and try it, see how you get on. I challenge you to do this for a week. We'll come back next week. You can let me know how you get on. Just telling yourself, I am enough. I am worthy. I am significant. And just see how that feels. See how you get on with it. And I guarantee you, if you keep doing that, if you keep reminding yourself that you are enough, you will start to feel it, you will start to act it, and then the people in your world will change in their actions towards you and how they treat you. Your boss suddenly will start appreciating you, and other people in your life will start appreciating you because you appreciate yourself and love yourself unconditionally. So there's so much more I could go into on this, but what I might do is maybe we'll do a two-part podcast where we'll revisit this next week because you'll have spent a week saying to yourself, I am enough. And then we'll go a little bit deeper into it and we'll explore other things that you can do. But start with that. I always like keeping it simple. And the more simple it is, the easier it is for you to follow through. So there's no excuse. Go and write it down. Put it on your phone screen, put it on your computer screen, put it on post-it notes. I am enough. Put it on your mirrors, everywhere that you will see yourself daily, and remind yourself each time you see it. And one thing I would say is every time you think that thought, every time you say it out loud, every time you read it, say it with feeling, knowing that you are enough, knowing that deep in your heart that you are enough right now, just as you are. Okay, we'll leave it at that, and I will see you next week. Bye.